This is my audience. Okay, so imagine this. It's midnight. You and your entire family leave your candlelit house and head down the street to the cemetery. Once there, you veer off to the heavily decorated grave of a deceased family member. Now, here in the States, you may be thinking, wow, Rachel, a cemetery at midnight, that's creepy. But that's understandable because in our culture, that's weird. That's not normal. But in Mexico, during Dia de los Muertos, the mood is totally different. So I will be talking about Day of the Dead, which is a commonly misunderstood Mexican holiday. It all began freshman year in high school when my favorite teacher, Mrs. Huffman, my Spanish teacher, introduced me to the holiday. I found it fascinating, and since then I've always just been interested, and I've even done a lot of research for a college paper on it. I think it's important because it shows how death may be viewed differently, even positively, in some other cultures. Specifically, I'll be talking about the holiday's meaning, traditions, and the altars. So Day of the Dead is a 3-day holiday, unlike holidays in the United States where it's only 1 day. It goes from October 31st to November 2nd. The whole purpose is to honor the dead with festivals and lively celebrations, and it's a time when families gather to pray to the souls of their dead relatives and ask them to return for the night and reunite. I know it may sound grim, but it's not a time of mourning, but a celebration to remember the lives of our past loved ones. So traditions, commonly there's makeup and face paint, kind of like this skull here, and like my shirt. People like to do their makeup like this, and they also like to do flowers in their hair, and it kind of is a meaning to show that the departed souls will always be beautiful. They have parades for all 3 days of the holiday, and it's a time when the whole community unites as one and pray for those departed to return and join the festivities. For food, commonly the most popular known here is sugar skulls, and it's literally just a small mold of sugar in the shape of a skull. Also, they had candy coffins and muerto de pan, or dead bread, which is baked in the shape of skulls and bones. Lastly, I'll be talking about the altar, which is also a tradition, but there's so much information about it, it's its own point. It's made to honor the souls of past loved ones, and there's usually 2 or more tiers that's in the home, and the tiers have pictures of the deceased, various offerings to the dead, incense to guide the soul, candles, marigolds, favorite foods and drinks of the deceased, and of course sugar skulls. Also, there's altars on the graves themselves. They're decorated with the same things, but there's a lot more candles and marigolds. Once everyone has decorated the grave, the entire cemetery is brightly lit with candles, and it's decorated like a party almost. So to conclude, Day of the Dead is a Mexican holiday with rich traditions and meaning. It's not a morbid holiday, but it's meant to celebrate the life of those gone before. Its traditions of parades, costumes, and foods help reinforce this meaning. Similar in America how people keep urns of ashes, the altars in the homes are just a sacred tribute to the deceased loved ones. Hopefully you learned something about Dia de los Muertos and see that's not just a Mexican Halloween, but a special holiday of prayer, celebration, and honor. Thank you all for listening to my speech. This is my audience.